Hi guys. Sorry about the last stream. I was having some technical issues. I'm trying to get a better setup with both my cameras here. I think it's looking pretty good right now. There's going to be some delay between what my webcam sees and what the other cameras see. Oh, it's not terrible. Not the worst. It's decent. But yeah, anyway. Uh, Yesterday I was working on the joystick wiring, and that is all done. And now I have to wire the back panel, and I also have to wire up the marquee up here. So I'm going to try to do this on stream as best I can. I was running into some issues a little while ago when I tried. Hopefully this will work better now. And yeah, if you have any friends that don't use YouTube or who haven't subscribed to me, you should tell them to subscribe if they are interested. I know I have a few Instagram and Facebook people who haven't joined on YouTube because I don't post a lot on YouTube, so I understand people don't really know about it. But I'm going to be streaming a lot more now that I hit like 10,000 on Instagram, so I'm trying to sort of make more of a social media presence. Um, so I'm going to share this quick on Facebook. I had already shared it, but I'm going to share it again just to let people know that I'm here and doing my thing. Yeah, so if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post below. I'll try to respond to everything as long as I'm not like right in the middle of something else. I'm going to post this up. Facebook use so aren't great about making posts. Yeah, somehow this camera... Oh, maybe I can post this on Instagram. No, I don't think I can. Can't post links on Instagram. So, it is what it is. Is Hangout one word or two words? I think it's one word. Let's try that. Alright, here we go. Yeah, something to do with the audio. Yes, I know. I always get this error, and I'm not sure why, because the bitrate is not 0. It claims the bitrate is 0, but it is definitely not. So I'm not sure why it says that. Yeah, it's set to 160. Maybe it doesn't like 160. I can't change it once I'm streaming. So, I mean, if you guys hear me, you hear me. I'm not sure if you do. We'll see. I'll just go for a while. If people don't say anything, I'll probably cut the stream short because it's kind of pointless for me if I don't have anyone watching. Because it is a hassle to do this stuff while on stream. It's a lot easier to do it without being on stream. So, to get to the back, I'm probably gonna unplug some stuff here. So, unplug this. Try to get this on the shot. That's pretty good, hey? So, use my metric ball driver. Yeah, so I have to wire up the audio amp on this, and I don't think I did that before. I think I printed all the parts for the speakers and everything, I just haven't wired it all up, so... I guess I'll be doing that now. We'll see. So these top bolts actually hold the mount for the motherboard inside. So they have a double purpose of both holding this door in place and also the motherboard bracket. So I'm gonna probably have to detach some stuff from the motherboard to move this guy. Yeah. Well, maybe not. I don't really want to do that. I'll just have to shift some cables around internally here. Yeah. It's tough buying wires that fit in here nice. So these blue guys, they go all the way to the motherboard. They're the ports, the USB 3 ports. So it is kind of a hassle. So I might have to detach those to work on all this. Because unplugging them from the motherboard is really kind of sketchy. Because I'm afraid of damaging the motherboard. Because if I damage the motherboard, I'm screwed. So it's easier in the long run to just remove these ports altogether. Probably will do the same with the display port. I'm constantly putting stuff together to test things and then taking it apart. It's just the nature of building these things. You know, so I'm sort of prototyping while I build them, always. So the fan header, or the fan plug, so these both go to the motherboard, so they're out of harm's way. And then you can see back in there is the motherboard, or the underside of the motherboard. This is the CPU die is on the other side of this spot right here. So, what we got here, right here is the audio amp. You can hear it clicking on and off. That would be it, turning on and off. So I need to wire up the power, audio input, and the speakers, speaker output. I'm probably going to disconnect this from the motherboard, the fan. So this is plugged into the case fan header on the motherboard. I'm going to unplug it carefully. Careful. Let's see if this fits. This should fit down through here, or not. Oh, well, that works, kind of. I'm not dropping frames, am I? No, it seems like it's okay. At least in OBS it says it's okay. Alright, so this is the whole back panel assembly. I try to make everything modular. It just makes this kind of stuff easier to work on. So I'm going to push you out of the way somehow. Don't have room. And I'm probably going to set up my helping hands. I need to sort of organize a little bit here because it's kind of wild. Not using those can get put away. Yeah, if anyone's watching, please comment below because I have no idea if this is working okay. So if you guys could let me know in the meantime, that would be good. If it's absolutely horrible, let me know too. I know people are probably eating dinner. It's like every one of my fans is either from California or some other country. It's like nobody lives in my time zone. I have like 3 followers in my time zone. No, that's not true. There's more than that, I'm sure, but still, it's frustrating when you're trying to do these live streams because you have no idea who's awake and available. I could probably come up with a more concrete schedule, or maybe do some late night live streams for my friends overseas in different time zones. But generally speaking, like people in Cali right now, it's 3 hours earlier, so they're probably eating dinner, getting out of work, whatever, so they're not going to be on the computer yet. So they'll probably all show up later on in the stream. Trying to organize a little here. Oh, this screen doesn't want to stay on for some reason. This TV. Let me check something. It might be... Try this. So I have another screen hooked up to the capture card to monitor the camera's display. But I want to switch it to this TV because the TV gives me like a bigger view of what you guys are seeing, and it gives me a better way to monitor things. Of course, now it's not working. I think I had this issue too. This TV doesn't support the resolution, perhaps. No. Oh well. Yeah, I guess not. Okay. Well, anyway. Hi, greetings from Chile. Oh, hi, Dark Wolverine, ×2. Is that right? What time is it in Chile? 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 I don't know how to say it. Also, my phone is ringing for some reason. Missed a call. No, I don't know who you are, so I'm not going to look at that. Yeah, sorry guys. So those of you tuning in, I'm gonna wire up the back panel here. I've already done the USB, these guys, and the display port. And I have to wire the power switch right here and the audio amp, which is this little guy right down here. So I'm gonna try to move my helping hands. This thing is really too big. When you buy one of these types of things, like me, don't buy the biggest one. It's handy for certain things, but it's also awkward. So I have this helping hands here. It's heavy, but that's what you want. And yeah, it works. It's just gigantic. So I can't really, the bar top is going to have to move quite a bit here to make room for the helping hands. We'll put you like this. Yeah, this way. Let's try to get that more or less set up. I'm going to be doing a bunch of soldering. I think. Yeah, a bit, not a lot, but enough where I have to have this. Try to get the webcam a little more centered. So if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to ask. Comment, whatever. I'll try my best to respond. So what I've used for these before is I don't know if you can see that. I don't know how to get this to autofocus. This is a dilemma that I'm running into. Is it autofocusing? Does not look like it. There might be a switch on my camera to get it to autofocus. Hold on, let me check something. Why are you not autofocusing? What is your deal? I have no clue how to get this to autofocus. It's like it doesn't want to autofocus. Let me try this. Oh. Is it doing it now? No? Not really. No, it's not autofocusing. Anyway, I tried. I think I have to touch. It's kind of inconvenient, but I think I have to touch. Yeah, I have to touch that. So here's the inputs and outputs for this audio amp, and I'm going to be wiring those up. I'm probably going to use a little JST connectors for these. I don't really. Let's see if I think I have to hit this button to autofocus. Autofocus is terrible. Yeah, yeah, right. I was trying the hand trick. It just it's not set to autofocus for some reason. It's not really like this camera is not meant to be used as a webcam like I'm using it, so it doesn't really, because I'm not recording or taking a photo, it's not autofocusing in real time. But I mean, that's pretty good. It's good enough where I think you guys can get an idea of what's going on. So I'm going to probably use some GSTs. Usually what I use with these audio amps. I'm going to zoom back out a little. Got to get more going on here in the shot. I think I have to use, yeah, that'll work. So, I'm trying to think. Sometimes yeah, it's not like I could fit. Whoever designed this, they didn't expect you to be using JST plugs because there's not enough space on the PCB for all these plugs. The pins are the correct pitch for these, but then the plastic part of the housing it interferes with they interfere with each other. So there's one that's supposed to go here, and it won't fit. So I end up having to do something else. I'm trying to think what I should do here. I like to try to make everything as modular as possible because it makes disassembly easier. Trying to think. I might use like a DuPont connector there. So, I did just order some new DuPont stuff. Let's see. Guess that's what they call these guys. Maybe they meant for these. They're sort of like the standard thing you see on PC motherboards when you're hooking up the front panel connectors. These guys. I think these will probably work pretty good for this. So, I mean, they're not as positive as the JSTs, but the pin is correct. The pin out is correct, or the pin spacing, the pitch. I'm going to use these. And yeah, they can disconnect. I'm trying to think of like, but they probably won't. Like you really would have to pull on it, I guess, for them to disconnect. They have a pretty good friction fit. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm not sure. Like the people who designed the PCB for this audio amp, they probably were expecting you to use these. Probably not. I don't know. Who knows? I'm talking to myself. Yeah, so there it is. You can see it better there. So that's a 4-pin one. We need a 4-pin, 2-pin, and then a 3-pin. So usually I like to use this sticky tack when I'm soldering. It's pretty handy for holding stuff in place. So it's like what you would get to stick a poster on the wall in your apartment without screwing up the paint. And this works good to hold things sort of in place while I'm soldering without making a mess. So I just like take a little chunk of this stuff, get this angled down. And you don't need a lot. You just kind of get that on there like that. Make sure the pins are going up and down somewhat. Get it where you need it. And then this is kind of overkill right now. I don't need to do it like this, but I'm going to use the helping hands to hold the whole panel, or try to use the helping hands for that. It sort of works while I keep this on camera. Wow, it's actually working. So this putty is keeping this from falling down. And then I have access to the underside, which is where I'm going to solder from. So I'll put my trusty iron sort of off screen, but it's there. And then I got my solder. And I'm going to solder. Gotta turn on my iron first. That would help. Yeah, so let's oh god. Hold on. Everything needs to be wireless. I'm tired of wires. Everything should be wireless now. I'm gonna solder this guy on. Just a little bit there. And a little bit there. A little bit there. That's pretty good. Okay, so we remove our little sticky tack. Now, so that is the output. These 4 pins are the output for the speakers, left and right. Now I'm gonna do the power. This takes 5 volts. I think it can run as low as 3. I'm not sure. This is a little harder to hold. I'm gonna put that in there carefully and stab myself with the pins. Okay, that's pretty good. That's where I want it. Let's make sure that the helping hands are helping. These aren't the greatest. These have these little pads on them, but honestly, these pads kind of suck. So there we go. The helping hands are definitely, like, this thing is worth it. I think it's called the Quad Hands. It's Quad Hands brand. This yellow guy down here. And I did some mods to it. I put a pan vise on it. Pan vise for holding like PCBs and things. So I mean, in theory, I don't have to work on this directly inside this printed assembly, but I'm lazy. I'm working on it in the assembly. as I can. Okay. Now I have to do the input. The last three pins here, these last three through holes are for the audio input from the computer. And I need my snips, wherever they are. Where are they? Where are you, snips? I'll use the needle nose. I'll just use the needle nose. Well, I grab my sticky tack. Well, maybe I'll put this through first. Put this through here. Dab my hand a little bit. Okay. Itchy. Okay, that's in there. Now we will solder. Get one pin going. Yeah. And then this side. And, hard to see what I'm doing. There we go. They could have made the they could have given me a little more metal to work with here. Tiny bit more metal. Move the camera this way, maybe. Like that. So those are all soldered up. So what I need now are some plugs. So now I bought a bunch of these with the intention of making my own plugs. Just kind of a lot of work. I have the tool for crimping these connectors. Female plugs. I have another box of these. I think I have another box with the other sizes I need. I'll be right back. Okay. So yeah, close this. And then use, put this out. Okay. So we're gonna need 4-pin for the speakers. Let's not do the speakers first. Let's do do the audio input first, I guess. So we make a, you know, I did order some of these DuPont style viruses, but I'm not a fan of the quality of the wire they use on them. It's not very good. So I might make my own. This is a good idea, I guess. So, trying to think, what does... So we need, yeah, so if we're doing the audio input, we need 1/8" plug. And I have some 1/8" plugs with wire on them already. Grab one. So there's 3 wires, ground, left, and right for stereo. Here's the harness I bought. So it's got bare wires on one end to make this plug, and then the 1/8" headphone jack plug. That plugs into either the screen, which has audio output, or the motherboard. I try both because sometimes you get some random ground loop noise. Yeah, make your own. Yeah, I'm gonna be making my own because, you know, specialty cables, they get real expensive and they're not always the right size, and you run into a lot of issues. Like, these are probably longer than I need. Always. Yeah, these are way longer than I need, but I can cut them down and strip them and do that. But yeah, so I'm gonna be basically hooking this end up to here, this plug. I'm gonna get the length where I want it. I'm probably gonna cut this in half. I think that's a good length. Probably do it in half, maybe even less than half. Like, that's even, I'm not even, like, you can't even get the whole length of it on screen, on camera here. There's quite a bit of wire here. Like, the prices on these things, it's like you can get the 6" one for $15, or the 12" one, or this is more like 3 feet. The 3-foot one for $5. So it's like, okay, because that makes sense. So I'm gonna probably do, maybe I should measure it and keep track. That would be the smart thing to do. So I'm gonna lay it out here on my cutting mat. So this is 20 inches, maybe? That seems kind of long. Maybe 10 inches? No, I want to have some slack. So let's do 15 inches. Okay, I'm going to do 15 inches. Which still seems kind of long, but whatever. Let's strip it. What's this gauge here? Sure. Now, I'm not a huge fan of how these work, because they put the ground wire as this bare stranded wire, just sort of around the two signal wires, the left and the right here. And the signal wires are like super chintzy. There's like nothing to them. I might even strip more than this. Give myself more to work with. Go. So I'm not like struggling. And then I'll just use some heat shrink to clean up the final product. See if I can get this camera kind of angled more to what I'm doing. Yeah, so these strands are just like a mess of strandiness. Let's try to make sense of them. Just twisting them. It's funny because the ground wire is like, they put more than enough for the ground wire, and then the signal wires, or the actual audio wires, they're super chintz. They're super thin. I should probably just buy my own 1/8" plugs. Make my own. I think I had done that before. I might end up doing that. I'm not a huge fan of these. I don't know if I have any of the 1/8" plugs on hand. So, because these are really thin. So, I don't know what gauge they are, but there's like nothing here. Yeah, they're really thin. You can barely see that on camera. Let me zoom in here. Yeah. Not much there. Should be enough. Should be enough. I might actually solder this stuff together, so while I'm working I don't screw it up. Solder's a good way to sort of keep these guys together before you do any crimping or anything. So put you in the helping hands. I don't really need this on frame, but I might just keep it there so people have something to look at. Now I'll take this out of here because I'm not working on it right this second. So try to do this so you guys can see what I'm doing. Grab my solder. I'm just tinning this bare stranded wire here. And then the ground signal is like so. So what I'm gonna do is put some heat shrink on here to sort of make it look a little nicer when it's all done. I don't know what size to use. Probably this bulky stuff. What's the shrink ratio? 3 to 1? That's a pretty good shrink ratio. So I'll use this. Kind of big. And then give myself quite a bit. Like that. And then put you back on there. So always remember to put your heat shrink on before you solder or do your plug. Something I always forget. So, and put it a ways down so you're not melting it while you're soldering, if you can. And then I have to figure out on here which way to wire this. So left, right, left, ground, right. So left is usually white, which in audio setups, left is right, red is right, left is left. I mean, yeah, white is left, red is right. So, and then this is ground. So that's the order I'm going to go into right here. So I have to get my crimper. I don't remember which crimper works with these guys, the DuPont connectors. I'll have to do a test. These are pretty small. I might use my little crimpers, my hose-on crimpers. Let's see. Oh, maybe these are the ones. The iWis. Maybe these will work. It's a good size. Is this the size I want? Maybe it's the smaller size. Yeah, it's good to do a test before you go on to whatever you're whatever you're doing. So I'm going to do a test first here with my crimpers, and then see what happens. Yeah, definitely the smaller size. So that's a pretty good crimp. Yeah, that's a good crimp. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting better at this stuff. Slowly but surely. Wiring is a lot of work. People kind of underestimate how much effort and time it takes to do wiring. To do a good job with it, anyway. Okay. So I don't need to worry about the order of these right this second because I figure the order when I plug them into the actual pin housing. So these have a lot of extra bare. Yeah, these are too long right now. So you can see how much of the silver or the bare metal stranded part is coming out. You want like half of what I've got here for these DuPonts. So we're going to do like half of that. Like that. You can see that. Yeah, like half. So I'm going to do the same. This guy. No, that one's a little funky. Just like that. And then the ground signal. I don't know how well that'll crimp because that's pretty chonky. I might use the different size. So I'm going to go in here. Put that. It's kind of hard to get that on camera. Sorry guys, I'll try. I'm going to make sure that that is where I want it. And then crimp. See what happens. Not bad. Not bad. I was having an issue when I was crimping these before where they wouldn't fit into the pin housing or this plastic piece here. So red or right should be on the right side. So over here is the goes in here. I'm not going to push it in all the way. I just want to make sure it's going to go in first. Okay, yeah, it looks like it'll fit. Just having a problem with the tolerances of the crimp not fitting into these pin houses before pin housings, and it's because of if the gauge of the wire is too heavy, which I might run into that issue with the ground wire because it is pretty thick. I'm going to push the connector together here. Let's do another connector. Let's get that right where I want it. We'll do the left now. We'll push the left in there. A little ways. Let's see if we get a good crimp. Yep, pretty good crimp. Pretty good crimp. Not bad. So there's another one, and now ground. So my concern is that this will not crimp very well. Whoop, these are not the right thing. Why are they on here? Why are these in here? Oh, those are the male. So yeah, this might not crimp very well. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I don't really have a way to gauge how much of this we put in here. Just until we get to there. Doesn't feel great. Did it break it? Oh, I guess that'll work. Yeah, that'll work. So now let's put it together. So let's do red right. Red is right. So push you in there like that. Please go in. There it is. Is it all the way in? Oh, this was an issue I had before where they weren't pushing all the way in. I might have to use... Oh, there it is. There it is. So ground is in the middle. So ground. Oh, this is tricky because of the solder. Ground goes in the middle. Ground goes in here. Push it all the way through. Go. Yeah, there it is. Ground's in. And then left. left is on the left side here. Makes sense, right? There it is. Right? Is that pushed all the way through? Yep. A little click. You'll hear a little click when those are in there all the way. So there's one. I made one. I made my own pluggable cable. And now, you know, it might be a good idea to do a test, but I think it'll be fine. I think this will work. So now I can test it with the header here. Let's plug it in. See if it works. Sometimes I don't do this right. No, that works. So you got some bare wires. I'm going to use the heat shrink on that. And should be working. I guess I could take out my voltmeter. Do the right thing and use a voltmeter. So get the voltmeter going. Hey guys, if you're watching, please comment below. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Feel free. I'll try my best to respond to whatever. So I'm gonna use my voltmeter to test my handiwork here. See if we can get the voltmeter on the camera. So yeah, the voltmeter, when these two are connected, that lets me know that I have a completed circuit. So I'll put this guy here, and then test. I don't know what pins are what on these. So that is right. So the center pin is right. You can see that. I think the ground pin is this part. So that would be the middle. Yep. And then left is this ring here. Okay, it works. Well, good. It does work. Now I need to... I always forget to turn my voltmeter off, and then I kill the battery. Now my voltmeter is on the floor. Okay, so now we can do the heat shrink. So I'm going to unplug this from here. Yeah, the DuPont connectors are the way to go. I probably gave myself way more heat shrink than I needed. Whatever. And then I gotta grab my heat gun. I don't use the torch. People always use, I see people use flame for heat shrink. That's not really the right way to do it. Use a heat gun. You can get one of these little guys. They're for crafting and for making cakes, I guess. I don't know. Bakers use them, that's why it's purple. But these things are great for melting heat shrink. And you don't burn anything. So this is 3:1 shrink ratio. Yeah, it's working alright, I guess. It doesn't shrink as quickly as you'd like. But the heat gun, it takes a little while to get to temp. Yeah, there we go. That's working now. There it is. There it is. Oh, and now I'm melting the connector a little bit. Don't do what I just did. Okay, so the connector, is it okay? Whatever. Yeah, it got melted a little. It's okay. And now we have a completed audio harness. So this will go from either the computer or the screen to my audio amp back here. That's the volume knob. Now we have to do right, yeah, so yeah. There it is, plugged in. And this end goes into the computer. So now we have to make, should probably make one for the power switch. Yeah, the power switch is kind of in a weird spot. I might relocate the power switch because you can see it kind of wants to be like that. Isn't great. I could always relocate the power switch in my CAD file, and then that would be better. So let's do the power. Now the power should come from, I can either power it with the USB. I don't remember how I did it on the other one. Let me double check because I might get a dirty signal or dirty power from the USB. I'm not a huge fan of that. Alright, whatever. Alright, so I'm going to check this other machine back here and see how I did it on there. Remember? I'm going to use the power. Did I use USB power? I did. Video. I think I did. I did do it. No? No? I didn't do USB. What did I do? I did the header on the board, I guess. Yeah. Use the header from the board. Yeah. Yeah. It looks like I did. Oh, no, maybe not. How did I power it? Where does this go? That's the power switch. There's no audio. Goes to... interesting. Yeah, I powered it with one of the USB headers. That makes sense. So I'm gonna make... Yeah, that makes sense. I powered the audio amp with one of the USB headers. 5 volts, which is enough for this little audio amp. So what I need is a 4 pin. I need one of these. And then I'm going to use probably a finer gauge wire than I had used last time because the crimp was not so great last time. I probably have the right cable somewhere in some box. I could just use, got a lot of stuff. A lot of these are just not long enough. Yeah, they're not really long enough. So yeah, no one is literally seeing that I'm live right now. My Instagram followers, they don't follow me on YouTube. I wish they did. Make my life easier. Yeah, none of these are... I'm gonna have to make my own. Oh, wait. Uh-oh. Nope, nothing's long enough. What is this? What is my life? I save all these wires, and they're always... Oh, these are actually fairly long. Is that long enough? So it has to go... Let's zoom out. It has to go from this back area up over the top to the motherboard. And I think that's long enough. An inch. So what am I gonna do? Yeah. So I'm gonna just try this. It's like I'm like kind of wasting wires right now by doing this, or wasting a plug that I don't need to do it like this. But so this is power. So we're gonna do yellow and black. So let's strip the wire. And we don't need to go crazy on this one. Just strip a little bit. Strip a little bit. That's not a great strip. This is why I have these strippers, for the finer gauges. There we go. That's pretty good. And then we're gonna do these guys again. Category gaming. YouTube does not give me a arcade machine build category. And then we're gonna do this guy in there, like that. Pretty good crimp. Then we do this guy. So the USB headers. What is the pinout on the motherboard? Which one's positive and which one's negative? I don't have... I need to pull out the manual for the motherboard. 1 second. I can never remember. Because I could look at the motherboard, or I could reference this. Let's see what it says. You know, it might not even say on here. I don't think it does. No, not really. USB. So 11. USB 2.0 header. So it's 113. 113. Okay, it does show me. So ground is on the right. Power is the left. So... okay, so ground... it doesn't really matter because the plug can be orientated either way. So I'm gonna go like that. And then there. There we go. So that's this end is what plugs into the motherboard, and the other end will be what plugs into the audio amp. Just making sure that I have enough slack here. So this end will get a 2-pin plug, like so. Hard to see. 2-pin. And again, I don't need to worry about orientation because that will be decided when I plug them into the housing. It's just a matter of getting a decent crimp here. Start the crimper. Start it. Push your wire in. Ways. Crimp. Come on. It gets kind of stuck in the crimper. I'm not sure what's going on here. I don't want to break it. Come on, why are you getting stuck in there? There must be like a burr on the die of this crimper because it gets stuck after I do the crimp and it's gonna break. It's gonna like break the connection. Not great. Not great. Yeah. Maybe I'm crimping a little too aggressively. I'm not quite sure. So let's do power. Power on the right. Okay. Do power on the right. And then we'll do yeah, I think I might be crimping too aggressively here. So let's try a slightly less aggressive crimp. Yeah. That's a little better, yeah. Okay, and now we plug that in there. And now we have our power harness for the audio amp. So this end, the 4-pin end, goes into a USB header on the motherboard, and then the 2-pin end goes into our audio amp back here. So this will go in this way. What's going on here? There it is. So that goes in there, and then this end plugs into the motherboard USB header. So we've got, so far we've made our audio input. This comes from the computer. We made that. We've made our power input, and now we have to do the speaker output. The speaker output ones are going to be a little more complicated, and we're gonna use different wire. You don't need a very heavy gauge wire for speakers at this scale, but I don't know where my speakers are. They're in one of these bins back here. I'm gonna make my own. I'm gonna strip my own cables or get my own wires here. Where are my wires? Here's all my wire. Down here. Here's my wire bin. So, what do we have here? It'd be good to color code the wires. I could use this stuff. This stuff's kind of heavy gauge. I don't know how well it'll work with the DuPont connectors. I could do a test. This is some RGB. It's kind of stiff. I'm not a huge fan. But it's better than the silicone stuff I have, because the silicone stuff, it's all black. So how do you figure out what your positive and negative are for the speakers? So I'm probably going to use this stuff. I'll try it anyway. I guess we can try it. So, alright, one end is DuPont. So we'll do DuPonts. Let me just test to see if the DuPonts will work with this gauge wire, because it is kind of heavy. Yeah. Let's see. That's probably more than I need to strip. Let's zoom back in for you guys, I guess. Zooming. Hey, if you guys are watching, please drop a comment below. Let me know. Yeah, I'm gonna do a test crimp, I guess, to see if these work. I feel like this wire is too chunky. We will find out. Yeah, it's kind of chunky. Doesn't really want to fit in there. Kind of chunky. Oh, that worked. Yeah, it works. That works more or less. I guess that works. So let's do. Oh man, is that print failing? I've got a print going on my printer, and it kind of looks like it's failing. But it's not really a super critical thing, so I'm probably just gonna let it do its thing. Yeah, this it doesn't want to. That works all right. Okay, nice. Chunky crimp. So one end is what plugs into the audio amp. So back here, these 4 pins, hard to see on the camera here, but these 4 pins where my finger is, those are for the speaker output. So it doesn't really matter which side it's which. I think ground is in the, no, positive is in the center. So what should I do? White for positive? Do white. Just plug these in. See if these work. I think this is working. Oh, we lost some viewers again. Oh well. People have like short attention spans, I guess. It's okay. I know I'm not exciting. Ah, that's satisfying actually. How well this plug came out. Yeah, these DuPonts are the way to go. Definitely the way to go. So this will be for, what do you say? Left speaker? Let's make the blue and white the left speaker. So how long do we want this? How many inches did I account for before? We want quite a bit for the speakers, because I remember it's better to have too much for these guys. Maybe 15 inches? What do you think? 15? 15 inches. Is that going to be enough? Let's do 15. How much does a mini cab like that cost? Couple $1,000. But this has a computer inside of it. Now, if you went with the Raspberry Pi, it would be a little cheaper, closer to 1,000. If you want an arcade machine and are worried about price, these things are not the thing for you. They're special, sort of one-of-a-kind things that I've designed from scratch and built from scratch, so they're not going to be affordable by any means. So I'm making the end of this harness that will be for the speaker. Probably gonna put a little solder on these guys. Or not, maybe not. Let's just do the disconnects. Wait, we were gonna use our new disconnects. Where are they? Back here. So these guys. Yeah, this is the new ones that I haven't tried yet. I think these will work with the speakers. Let me grab the speakers and see if these will work with them. Where are you, speakers? Where's my speakers? Hi. Then. So, I got my speakers. Some speakers. These are the ones I use. Camera's not gonna focus probably. I might just put them on this camera. Are you gonna focus? That focuses better. Sort of better. Well, anyway, they are Viceton BF32Ss. So I'm gonna check to see that these disconnects will work. Maybe not. They're kind of chunky. Yeah, not really. Not really the right size. Okay, so that sucks. I was hoping those would work. Where are my other disconnects? They're down here somewhere. Interesting. So, these have a bigger opening? I didn't think they did, but I guess they do. Ever so slightly. Let's see. Yeah, they do. Okay. Well, I'm not a fan of these ones, but they work, so I'm gonna have to use them. And I'll do... Do they need the boots? I'll do the rubber boots. I hate doing... Let's try to get the camera a little more focused on what we're doing here. I'm gonna zoom in a little. Yeah, like that. Okay. Okay, and now, so we have this guy. And then these guys. So, yeah, I guess we can crimp these. So I'm gonna use my different crimpers, these deeper ones. So we use our deeper crimper, and I'm gonna do the middle size, I believe. So yeah, these are the deeper crimp. So we'll do one. Maybe too much. Maybe not. Yeah. Is that the right crimp? I always forget. I'm still learning here. Yeah, that'll work. Well, I'll do my usual solder here because I don't trust my crimp on these. I'll do a little solder. Comment below if you think soldering these is the wrong thing to do. Let's move the camera so you can see what I'm doing. And you also get to see my lap. What's up? Alright. There we go. You're in the hospital. Oh boy. I hope for whatever's going on, everything's going to be alright. And I hope for you to get out of there as soon as possible. I'm just sort of going back over these unnecessarily with solder because I don't trust my crimp. This is not a great method. Oh, I'm melting. I'm melting. I'm melting. When is your birthday, Time Drifter? If you don't mind me asking. Are you like, hey, it's my birthday, wink wink? Some people were asking about getting on a list to get one of these, and I was saying that I don't really want to do the list thing. So usually what I tell people is to just stay tuned, because I will post about when one of these goes up for sale. These ones that I'm working on currently are already sold, but when they're just about done or ready to ship, essentially, I will be posting up a pre-order for the next batch. Probably I'll build one or two more. One or two at a time, maybe one at a time. It depends on what I'm feeling like, confidence-wise, because building these is a lot of effort. It's a lot of work and it takes a lot of time. And usually what happens is I make some money when I sell them, but then I don't make money for a few months while I'm finishing them. So if I could build them quicker, I would make more money, but I'm kind of slow. So it is what it is. Oh, I hate these things. You guys were watching the stream yesterday. You saw me struggling with these boots. I got the boots. Come on, boots. Go in there. There we go. There. Once it starts going, it goes, but get in there. Get in there. Ah, there it is. Boot is on. The boot is on. Whoa. I want to trim these. I'm not a huge fan of these guys. They don't quite fit. And then I have to trim them every time down here. I could probably make some out of heat shrink tubing. I might actually try that. Maybe not on this one because I've already gone with it. But on the next ones I make, I'm actually going to pre-solder this one. So I have some tin or some solder on there. So when I do my secondary soldering after the crimp, let's load these in the crimpers. So I'm going to use the middle die, the middle crimp. Push my guy in there, and then crimp. There we go. Not a bad crimp. And then, now that I've tinned it ahead of time, I'm going to solder it. Let's solder you. Melt the wire while I solder. Yep, that's pretty good. I'll melt the wire a ton, like I did on the last time. And now I gotta put the boot on. So, the boot, I'm always like, should I, it's like they want you to put the boot in this way, right? So I'm gonna push it in there. You get to the point where it has the right angle, and then it's a hassle getting it all the way through. So I use some needle nose pliers to sort of like finagle it through without bending the connector or breaking the connection. There we go. There we go. There's another one. So one speaker harness or wiring harness is done. So the DuPont connector here, that goes into the back of the audio amp, or the top of the audio amp, and then this goes onto the speaker. So, and I'm going to do white as ground, or not ground, positive. So the red pin on here, like that. And then blue is ground or negative, like that, and then plug that into the audio amp. White in the center for positive, like that. There it is, one speaker wired. Obviously they need to get installed in the cabinet and all that fun stuff. Let me rotate this camera back. So I've made one. Did I drop the wire? Or did I put that? So that's one. Where's the wire? Didn't I already make 2 wires? Didn't I make another one? Where's the other one? Where's the other one? Is it in here still? Yeah. So let's cut another length of this stuff. Maybe I don't know. Let's do black and green. Black and green. So, what did I say? 15 inches? 15 inches. Which seems kind of overkill. But when you're pulling this thing apart and putting it back together and all that, it's better to have extra slack in the wires. You can always tuck stuff away, out of harm's way. But yeah, when you're pulling it apart, you obviously need some slack, because when you pull it apart, you're going to be, you know, if you have just the exact amount of wire you need, then it'll be too short and you won't be able to pull it apart. If that makes any sense. So I'm going to make another one of these DuPont plugs, 2 pins. So I strip the wire. And handy dandy strippers. Let's do a shorter amount on this one, I guess. Like that. And then we grab our DuPont connector crimpy thingies, if that makes any sense. Let's put this in here. Oh, wrong tool. Undo. Wrong tool. This crimper. I should probably label these somehow. They have some numbers on them, but the numbers doesn't mean much to me. So yeah, this is for the DuPonters. So let's do a DuPont crimp. DuPont crimp incoming. DuPont crimp. Wow. It's exciting when you get a crimp that actually works. It took me a long time to actually get decent at this. We're talking years. So, you know, practice makes perfect. Also having the right sizes for everything, because if you're not using the right size tool, your crimp is going to be junk every time. So green will be positive. So let's do green is positive. Uh-oh. There it is. There we go. So this is the end again that plugs into the header, the speaker output header right here, like that. And then this end we'll have to put our little quick disconnects for the speaker pins, the pins on the back of the speaker. So that's when we switch back over to the other crimper. We'll give ourselves a little slack here. Now this, probably like that. And then these guys, but I'm gonna pre-solder this like I was on the other one. Just a little bit on there. Pre-solder. And then use this crimper with the, what size am I? The middle? Yeah, the middle size. Yeah, like that. Like that. And then do another one. Started. And then this guy in here. And then those are pretty good. Now we will solder these two. Dust falling on. It's just like dust falling on me from upstairs. Little unnecessary solder in there. Necessarily unnecessary. It's kind of messy. Whoop! I'm melting the shielding here. Yeah. Come on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's good. Now we'll put our boots on. Put your boots on, as your mom would say when you're a little kid and you're going out in the snow foolishly with your Nikes on. Put your boots on. Put your boots on, Johnny. Or Samantha. Or Richard. Or Yorkie. Or Felix. Or Time Drifter. Who knows? Maybe his name is actually Time Drifter. First name Time, last name Drifter. I like that name. Yeah. I'm wrestling. Oop! Don't break it. Wrestling these boots on. There's one. It's like wearing a pair of boots that are 2 sizes too small. Not a great experience. Just in there. Okay, come on. There we go. Come on. All the way. All the way. Come on. There it is. There's 1, 2. Now I trim these boots because they're always too tall. There's always too much extra on the end here. And then let's test them in the speaker. Okay, so we have one speaker here already. Let's just use this speaker for the other one. Doesn't matter. Test it. So green is positive. Green is positive. There we go. I gotta order more of these right angle guys. They're really handy. Okay, so then there's another speaker wired up. So yeah, we're good. The audio amp is all wired up. We got our speakers, our speaker harnesses. Speaker harnesses, we got 2 of these, left and right. Speaker harnesses, power harness, and then this guy, which is the audio input from the computer. So it's got the 1/8 inch jack. That's all the wiring you need for the audio setup on these things. Kind of complicated. It's nice though, you know. I like having all these sort of neat, you know, sort of easily removable harnesses. Because soldering stuff is too, like, okay, say right now, as I'm building this, I solder all this stuff, and what happens when I have to take it apart and paint it? I'll have to desolder everything. So making these kind of cables and harnesses is 100% worth it. So that's the audio portion. And next we're going to do power switch, which is going to be easy. So the power switch will be another 2-pin guy, 2-pin DuPont, and then probably these same right angles guys, these two, yeah, these same, or I might actually use, yeah, the new ones, these ones that I like. I think I'll use these ones, yeah. So do we have any wire kicking around over here that can work? We'll have to, for the power switch, polarity does not matter. For any button, any of these momentary buttons, they're just 2 pins, polarity doesn't matter. You're just connecting one pin to the next pin, and that activates whatever it is. So I'm going to use probably some of this black silicone wire because I like it. I like it a lot. Now this one I will make probably also 15 inches. That might be overkill, but it doesn't matter. So we have some already in here. So this is the wire I'm going to use. So let's do, I guess 15. 15 necessary? Yeah, let's do 15. Why the heck not? So 15 inches. A foot's always kind of too short, I've found, for these types of things. I always end up going with a little bit longer than a foot. It's tricky to buy pre-made stuff because it's always like way longer than needed or way too short. Like, it's like your options are 1 foot, 6 inches, 5 feet. It's like you don't get these sort of in between sizes, which I get. I understand when you're trying to sell these things. Doesn't really make sense. So let's make these size this. No, the smaller strip. There we go. And then like that. Now we'll use which crimper? This one? Yeah. I think it's this one. Alright. Yeah. So we're doing the DuPont and so we're gonna stick that in there. Get a little bit of the shielding in there. And a crimp. Yeah, so the silicone is a little harder to push into these pin housings, if I remember correctly. It's the only downside to using the silicone for the DuPont connectors. I should have probably just used the same thing I used for the power wire on the audio amp. But, whatever. You know what, actually, I'm probably going to do that because I'm not a fan of this cable. So I remember it being a real hassle. So let's use something else. And what else do we have in here? We don't really. What gauge is this stuff? This will work. Yeah, this will work. Let's use this. 15 inches. It's weird, there's less people watching today than there were yesterday, and I don't know what I've done differently today. Other than the timing. Did I stream earlier yesterday, I guess? Yeah. I'm not even sure. Is the audio working for you guys? Is the audio working? Yay, nay? Yes, no, maybe. Let's try this again. Yeah, I don't think I would use this one. Average view duration, 3 minutes and 41 seconds. Well, I guess that's not bad, considering I've been streaming for an hour and 36. Yes, audio is working. Alright, cool. Thank you, Felix. Because YouTube was throwing some errors at me earlier about the audio. I don't know. I might be too loud, then too quiet. I'm like trying my best to clearly speak for the webcam to hear me. I should probably have a mic hooked up for like my sweatshirt. I haven't gotten that far. A mic would work better. The webcam does alright. It's fine. So, I'm just making these DuPont connections for the motherboard power plug header. Or the power button header, I guess I should say, yeah. So that's one end. And then, ooh, am I gonna have enough black? Yeah, there'll be enough. Now, I'm gonna do this, and cool. Now, I have not used these. Have I crimped these yet? I think I have. Yeah, so I'm gonna need to use the deeper crimp. So, I guess this guy. This. Yeah. See that this works. Try this. Try that. I think that's it. Yeah. I'm gonna probably do my solder trick here. I'm gonna do the solder trick. Because it's just the power, but you know, it'd be unfortunate if like one of these didn't get a good connection and then the customer couldn't even turn on his arcade machine. It'd be frustrating. Ow, that's hot. Hot. Okay, that's good. Yeah, they want you to use like a heavier gauge wire with these. That's kind of a thing. But yeah, these are gonna go on here. Wow, these are hard to connect. These, you know what? I'm not a huge fan of these buttons. I use them because they're small, but they're just kind of a hassle for quick disconnects. Yeah, they like don't really want to go on very well. Where's my pliers? Yeah, they're just too... So these quick disconnects, I've found a lot of times they're usually too tight. So you can kind of open them up a little bit. But it's like, I guess it's better to have them too tight over loose, because if they're loose, then no connection. You don't have a good electrical connection. But at the same time, it's kind of frustrating. Kind of frustrating. I've actually broken some of these buttons because of the quick disconnects being too hard to push on. Pins will push, like the pins coming off the button, off this button. These guys, these two pins, they actually push inside the plastic housing, and then the button is essentially broken because it's not like you can pull them back out. They're not great. Just, you have very few options at this sort of mini scale. I probably should do some heat shrink on these. What do you think? I think I should do some heat shrink instead of using the boots, which I'm having a hard time with anyway. Ooh. Yeah, I wonder if this heat shrink will work. Yeah, I think I can use a heat shrink. Let's just use a heat shrink. We'll do like ½ inch or so. Let's do a couple pieces, a little over a ½ inch to make the boots. Like this. Yeah, I wonder if, will that work? Kind of like, maybe not. I think you gotta bend it, sort of. Honestly, this is as hard as doing the boot. Maybe it's too, maybe they're too, yeah, it's kind of too long. So if I shorten the heat shrink, like quite a bit, like that, then I can push them on there. This is like unnecessary, kind of, but I don't want these connections like basically hitting each other without the person operating the machine telling them to work. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this doesn't really work. That doesn't really work. I kind of thought it would, but it's not. So anyway, well, I'll use the boots, I guess. What else you do? I'm running low on these boots. I don't have a lot of them left. I'll have to order more. I think I have, yeah, I'm almost out of the connectors too, so. Yeah, so these boots are sort of overkill. I wonder if these ones will be easier to push through here or harder. Because they're not exactly made for these that I know of. Actually, these might actually be easier. No? No. They're not. Because there's sort of like a invisible thing. These are fiendish. It's like whoever... I feel like someone who developed them or designed them just didn't think it through or didn't even try to do it. Oh my god, I'm messing up this crimp. This is why This is why this is not a great thing to do. Yeah, well, whatever. There's a boot. The boot time, as the Canadians would say. It's a boot time. There we go. There's one. So, maybe I'll pre-cut it like that. See if that makes it any easier. Probably not. I had a feeling that these would be stronger than the sort of shinier ones that I've been using, but part of me says they're not, actually, and then they have, this is not helping. Cut that off. That might actually help push them in. There we go. Printer is still printing, warping like a mofo. I might actually cancel it because that warping is not, that is crazy how much it's warped. I think this is why I didn't use the filament that I'm using right now, because it just isn't very good. It warps too much. Doesn't stick to the build plate and then it warps. Oh god. This sucks. These suck. These right angle things. They're great once they're done, but they suck making them. They're so hard to make. Okay. There is our power button harness, which was way more work than it should be. So I'm gonna just, doesn't matter, polarity doesn't matter on this. So I'm gonna push it on there like that. So that's right, and then this guy. Okay, come on. Don't push the pin in, please. Oh, I felt like it pushed it in a little bit. Whatever. There, it's on there. So there's our power switch. So, this is ready to be put back into the machine. Wow, just like that. It only took an hour and 47 minutes. That's not crazy. Isn't that, maybe that is crazy. It took 2 hours just to wire this guy and this guy. Oh boy. Alright, let's move the helping hands. Out of sight, out of mind. And then these guys. Always good to put away stuff. Do I need to make any other cables? I think that's it. Cable-wise for this build, I might have to do a custom micro USB to power the screen, because I don't believe I have one. I was using an external power supply to power the screen yesterday, which isn't great. I'll probably keep this little guy in there so I know what I'm looking at. So soldering iron, go away. Alright. Let's move tools out of the way. Okay. Alright. So, yeah, I guess, you know what I have to wire? I forgot. I still have to wire the light bar for the marquee. So, I did forget about one thing. There was one more wire I have to make for the marquee. Cool, don't do that. There we go. So, to work on this, we're going to want to take this guy off. I don't know where my hex is for that size. I have a hex driver for the back panel. well. Oh, that's the size. Now, that's going to be powered with the motherboard, so I can put the back panel in that I just wired up and still be able to work on this portion. But I'm going to take this off first anyway because I'm already doing it. Back panel's off here. Alright, so let's put this guy back in. So we have our display port goes here. Now, what did I use for? Does this have? I think I have. That's, yeah. Put the display port back in. Sorry, I'm blocking the camera here. It's really hard to get the camera in an angle that works and work at an angle so the camera can see it. I can't really put the camera over my shoulder, that doesn't work. Get that. So that's threading in. Don't go too crazy with it. Okay. Threading in. I'm probably gonna once I wire this make the last DuPont connector setup, I'm probably gonna cut the stream here, guys. These ones are a little more annoying because I don't have the threaded inserts inside of them, so I have to use this is the wrong size. I have to use what size do I need? My organization is falling apart. Guess that's the size I'm using? Yeah. How long do these need to be? Not that crazy. No. These are not long enough. These use pretty long bolts. So some of these are for the back panel. I think it's these. Wow, these have to be pretty long. Not a great design. Whoever designed these USB plugs or ports, whatever you want to call them. I guess they're designed for a specific thing. Maybe in that application they make more sense. Not terribly. They're not too crazy because the rubber sort of grips on the little nut that I'm doing right here. I'm putting a nut on the back side. So this goes through here, goes through the blue plastic portion. Can't really see it. It's sort of vinyl rubber thing. And then I just sort of do this and it grabs the nut eventually. No wrench required. but still kind of fiddly. Be better if these had threaded inserts in them. Ugh. Yep. I'm getting burnt out here, guys. I'm gonna have to cut the stream short. Or not short, I should say, because I've already been going for almost 2 hours. Just getting burnt out on this fiddliness. There we go. Now let's push shoe through here. And then put another nut back. Camera can't really see what I'm doing. I'll move you a little closer here. Shaky, shaky. Sort of see what I'm doing. Yep, my elbow. What is the common threaded insert size you use? I use M3. M3. These most of this stuff is M3. So these bolts are M3, 3mm. So the 3mm threaded inserts are what I use. I'm not putting threaded inserts in these guys because they're this sort of flexible vinyl rubber. So the threaded insert wouldn't hold very well. So I'm just using nuts on the backside here. But in my printed parts, I use M3 usually. This part up here, since it's kind of delicate, I'm actually using 2.5mm threaded inserts. And I do have some things that use 2mm inserts. So anywhere from 2 to 3mm, but 3mm being the more standard size. See where I'm pointing here? This is an M3. So the major sort of bolts holding this whole thing together are all M3. Which is more than enough at this scale. An M3 bolt. So got one more. There's too many nuts to put these silly ports in. So 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 times 2. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Now I have a nut that I'm missing. This happens. It must have walked off. They do that sometimes. They just sort of walk off. I don't know where they go. Where'd you go? You're gone. Forever gone. I have to go through my storage. Where are they? The nuts that I use. I have like parts trays. I don't know if you guys can hear me still, but I have parts trays sort of off camera here with tons of random bits that I don't put away. So then I dig through those to find a part. And it usually takes longer than just finding the bin where the parts are. And sometimes I don't find anything in here. Yeah, they're heat inserted. I have a special iron that I use. It's a soldering iron that I modified with this special tip. And I'll show you what an insert looks like. So here's an insert. This is a real small one. And I let this get to temperature. I push it on to the end here. Usually burn my fingers a little bit. And then I get my plastic part and I go like this and I push it in. You can't hold it for too long in there because it'll melt out your hole and then you have a bunch of melted plastic and the insert's not staying put. So it takes some technique, but you can buy just one of these cheap soldering irons. This was like $15. But you want to get one that's temperature adjustable. So this has a little digital temperature adjustment, and you, depending on the filament you're using, you want to adjust the temperature accordingly. And the insert, because a bigger metal insert needs more heat. where these finer ones, I actually lower the temp a bit. It takes some practice, but what I did was I made some practice posts with holes in them for the thread inserts, and I did some tests to kind of get like a feel for it before I went into my final piece. I don't know where this nut went. The nut took off. Let's see, maybe I have one of these other trays. No. No. I don't. I'm getting burned out here. I'm gonna do this more. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'll be back. I gotta organize, guys. I need to do some organization because I can't find anything. I don't know where these nuts are. Here they are. They're not the exact same ones I've been using here. No, I have some painted black oxide nuts, M3 nuts, and I don't know. Ah, here they are. There they are. There they are. Alright, here we go. Let's go back to what we were doing here. So, come on. Yeah, nuts are not my favorite thing to use for this, since you need some good dexterity to do this. Ugh. And like, it's not like I could get a socket in here or anything, or a wrench. Come in, grab. Grab. You know you want to. Problem is, this housing is actually kind of in the way. Again, this is another thing that someone designed and didn't think about when they designed it. They were not engineers. They're manufacturers, not engineers. I mean, once they grab in sort of this rubbery plastic, they do tighten pretty snug. All right, so those are done. All right. Oh, there's the nut. It's right there. Of course. All right. So let's do all these harnesses we just made and try to remember what is what. So this is my right speaker. The green and the black are my right speaker, right? Yeah. Green, black. That is my right speaker. Okay. So this goes up here. Up here, up here, up here. Boop, 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 boop. Do we have all? Oh, hopefully we have enough. Hopefully I gave myself enough. Ooh, yeah, it's kind of tight. I mean, once the door's in, yeah, not a terrible amount of extras here. I'm gonna use my clothespin trick. So I use like a clothespin to hold this, keep it from falling back down inside. Now let's do left. Left is our blue and white. Blue and white. The left speaker. Blue and white. So this comes up here on the other side of the motherboard. The mother and father board. There we go. Pretty tight behind the motherboard. Yeah, everything's 3D printed now. I don't use wood anymore. I do not use wood anymore. These are, the design has evolved quite a lot since back then. The NDF ones didn't have rotating screens. They're much more clunky on the inside. They weren't as modular. And they're heavy. They're very heavy compared to these. This one's, I want to say this is like 10 pounds. 8 pounds, and the older ones are 15, or not 15, 40 or 50 pounds. They're heavy, but they're bigger, so bigger screen. They're made out of wood, so they're heavy. I'm gonna use this to keep the wire from falling back inside. So that's that. Our power cable. Shoot, our power cable might be too short. Did I not make this long enough? Oh boy. We might have to make another cable, because I don't know if this is going to be... What side do we go on? This side. Okay. Okay, maybe. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll work. Let's get the webcam. Not sort of looking at the top of my head. Man, I wish I was using a Raspberry Pi in this build, I'll tell you that. Oof. As much as I like having the extra horsepower for a computer. Thanks, Sad Machine. Yeah, it's been a long road developing specifically this bar top. This was really the first bar top design I came up with, and it's evolved a lot since the wooden ones. It's much more like a real product now, where the wooden ones were very, very much prototypey and DIY. Oh boy, I can't see the USB header at all on this motherboard. Okay. Okay. Now, okay, I can see it a little bit. It's down there. It's down there. I think it's, yeah, this is enough. I do have enough length. So, I gotta pull the manual up again. The motherboard manual. So I was on, what, 113. So, USB to header. So ground is on the right side here. Okay. Okay, I can do it. I got this. Man, the thing that's, you can't see because I don't have this facing the front here, but the motherboard has this big bundle of wires for the power supply, and they basically block a good portion of this USB pin header, so I cannot see at all what I'm doing. Let's try it. I can do it. I can do it. I can get in there. I might have to use wires, tweezers, something. Let's try these. Let's try the pliers. Come on, pliers. You know you want to. You know you want to. Okay, is that in? Nope. I don't want to damage. Do not damage the motherboard. Famous last words. Oh my god. Yeah, this is retarded. If I could, I'm gonna have to lift this up. Here we go. I feel like a surgeon. This is surgery. Okay, so the motherboard's like jumping up. Did I not attach these? Oh, I did not. Okay, so I have to there are some feet or posts for the motherboard mount points. What PC? Oh, sorry, I just saw that side machine. I'm running a Windows PC. Yes, it's a Ryzen. It's a Ryzen based board. Show you the. This is it's an ROG Strix B550i. It's a pretty nice. It's overkill, really. For running a 1024 by 768 LCD, it's overkill. So this supports 3rd gen Ryzen, which is what's in there. I don't remember what processor I'm using off the top of my head. There's also an NVMe SSD as the main drive. 2 terabyte. It's pretty chunky. I mean, size-wise, it's a small drive because it's NVMe, so it's like smaller than a stick of RAM. So I'm gonna run this power. No, this isn't the power switch. This is the This is the power for the audio amp, which is coming over here where I can't see. Yeah, I should be doing this with the front, like the front portion of the cab off. But I'm just like, I can do it with that there. So positive is going to be yellow, right? So there we go. That's the power. And then we have the audio. So audio cable is this guy. So do I run off the motherboard audio jack? I gotta reference this manual because I don't remember the audio plug. Where is the audio? Where's the audio? That's not telling me the audio. Tell me the audio, guys. Yeah, Side Machine, I don't know if you're still watching, but I'm gonna be booting this up in probably 5 or 10 minutes to test out the audio. I was gonna do the marquee, the lit marquee, but I'm kind of burnt out, and there's a bit that has to go into that, so I'm probably not gonna end up doing that today on stream. I have no idea what the audio is. This is not telling me anything. Oh, here we go. So which port is 4? Oh, illuminated audio. Well, line pink. Rear panel. Line out. Lime. So it's the middle plug is line out. Okay. I should know these things. Building computers for as long as I have been. So that's line out. So this is line out. There we go. Line outs. Line out. There we go. Now this goes. So this one is sort of long, so it's gonna want to interfere with the power switch here. Sorry, my head's in the way. Yeah, it kind of wants to interfere with this guy. Kind of what I was afraid of before. Not great. How do I deal with that? I have to kind of bend it. Yeah, I don't really want to do that. Okay. Yeah, that sort of works. Now the motherboard might be hitting this. I'm gonna have to. Not great. Okay, that works-ish. Let's see. Can we tuck this all in now? So this is the power switch. That has to go to the front here. Yeah, the motherboard is like in the way. Motherboard's in the way. What front end is preferred? Side Machine asks. I use a track mode. I'll when I load this up, I'll load up the front end. I've already installed all the software on this computer, on this hard drive that's in here. Okay, so the fan. Whoop, we still have the fan. Still got the fan header. Ish. Okay, fan header. Where are you? Come up here. I need another set of eyes, guys. I can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, I use the track mode and Retroarch for the emulators. Most of the emulators. I used some other emulators before, but Retroarch is the king for just simplifying controller configs and file paths and all that goodness. I don't know what's going on here. This is frustrating. There we go. Okay. Yep. Okay, so I got the fan up there. Come on, come on, come on. Don't break something. Don't break anything. Yeah. No, fan. Which one is the fan header? The labeling on this board, not great. Okay, one's chassis fan. Which one's chassis fan? This happens every time. Whoever like comes up with the labeling, like they used like this sort of dark gray text on the motherboard to label what's what, and it's just not great. Okay, so that's the AIO pump. Don't want to plug into the AIO pump. Maybe it would work the same, I don't know. I don't think the voltages are that different. There we go. Okay. Yep. Okay. That's everything. Now, we gotta get this to fit back in here. So, we got this guy. Ooh. You know, the display port, which should be plugged in. I should plug this in before I go crazy pushing everything into place. How do I get the display port in? Does it go this way? Oh, this is not great. Don't damage the motherboard. That's what I keep telling myself. Don't damage the motherboard. Don't damage the motherboard. There we go. Okay. Display port. Whoever came up with that. It's so chunky. Yeah, the laundry clip trick. It works good. I actually use them as helping hands too when you're soldering or whatever. They're nice because they're not like you could use any kind of little clamp. I have this whole bin of sort of spring clamps, and I've used these for things, the plastic ones for things, but the laundry clips work too. I have a bunch. I actually use binder clips for some stuff. These work really well. I actually use these to glue together some of the plastic pieces. They work great for that. That's how I built the screen. and the some of the parts on the case. Yeah, the nice thing with laundry clips is they're not super strong, so they're not going to damage any of the wires, and they are going to hold these in place until I'm done jamming everything in here. So the only thing I worry about when I'm pushing this in is that the motherboard backside has, it has some pins sort of sticking through because of the way that it's made, and those pins are sort of sharp. Okay, so that's in. Okay, that works. That works. Hopefully nothing's hitting the motherboard. So now I'll use these longer bolts up top. The moment of truth is when I should probably do a power test before I go crazy with the bolts. I don't know where. Am I lining up with what I need to be lining up with? Probably not. Oh, maybe. I cannot see. The only problem, I have not glued. There's some things I should be gluing in here that I haven't glued in. This is one of them. I don't know if that's going into anything. Probably not. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's not all painted up yet. Obviously, because of the amount of handling I'm doing right now. If this was painted, I'd be damaging the hell out of it. So I don't know. I'm still developing how the motherboard attaches in here. I'll show you. So you haven't seen the motherboard side. Here's the motherboard in there. So that's why my hands are having a hard time. Because I'm working around all this, especially this stuff. This is the power wires going from the power supply, which is down in the bottom. And then I have this bracket that's, don't break that. I have a bracket that the back door is attaching to, and it's kind of hard to do. I should have glued it in. I might pull the whole motherboard out and glue it in, actually, because this is annoying. I can see the bracket, but I can't see my bolts lining up with it. Oh, actually, it might have grabbed. Hold on. I think it grabbed. Yeah, I gotta glue this bracket. There's like a special motherboard bracket that I designed that holds the motherboard in place. Ah, it did grab. Aha, we have success. I try not to glue too many things because then if I want to change something or someone wants to modify it down the road to use different hardware, I want them to be able to pull it apart and actually put in whatever hardware they want. That works. That's grabbing. That is grabbing. So these bolts double as both holding the bracket that holds the motherboard and also holding the door in place. Then we have two more for the bottom. These are easier. And someday I'll make a guide on how to do everything I'm doing for the sake of repairs and hiring people to do this stuff. I'm doing it all myself. Can't afford to hire people, but eventually I want to be able to hire people. Be nice. Okay, now the moment of truth is I'm not going to do the sound test. Well, I guess I could hook up the speakers. I can hook up the speakers, or at least one of them. Make sure the audio works. Let's do one speaker. Let's do one speaker. So we got one speaker in here. It's just gonna be sitting willy-nilly. I have a... I kind of jam it in there. Not really. I mean... Alright, the printer is failing. I have to, like, stop my printer. Alright, yeah. That's not where the speaker goes. But at least it's just there for me to test things. So I'm gonna plug in my power. Let's plug in the power. The PC is powering everything. So there's a power supply. The PC powers the screen, the audio amp, and then this is the power brick. So this plugs into the back, and this provides 12 volts. 12 volts, 8 amps. This plugs into the back, and then the power supply inside of here. It's kind of more power delivery. Ooh. That's not a good thing to have sitting on top of the power supply. Uh-oh. Okay. I forgot to plug in my power plug header. And yeah, this cable here, this gigantic mess of wires for the power supply, it is so annoying and in the way. This is such a tight space in here. I mean, even in like a regular PC case, it's annoying, but I'm gonna have to use tweezers to like plug in this DuPont connector to the power switch. I wish I had a gnome or something that I could tell to plug stuff in for me. Come on. I don't want to break this. Is that plugged in? Can't tell. Are you plugged in? No. No, there it is. Yeah. Plugged in. Okay, that's plugged in. I would buy the guide. Well, I mean, if a customer... I guess... No, if a customer bought, like, a kit or the machine, I would just... The guide would be free. I mean, I guess if I printed it, I could print it and sell it, just for people interested in how these things come together, but otherwise... Alright, I gotta... Let's plug this guy back. Let's plug this in. Do a test. This is exciting. See if it's gonna work. No, I've tested this before. It does work. The screen I have not gotten all set up yet, but at least I can test this stuff. Make sure the audio amp is working and all that goodness. That doesn't feel good. Okay. Oh. Yeah, so the audio amp's getting power. I can hear it. Let's see if it powers on. Oh, it does. See the blue light? So PC is turning on. Audio amp sounds like it's working. My time is valuable. I appreciate it. Thank you. A kit would be awesome. Yeah, I do want to make kits for sure, because sanding and painting these is a lot of work. I did sell a kit. The first print I did, the first prototype I did, I sold as a kit. It wasn't like, it's a prototype kit, so it's not like the final kit that I would like to provide people, but yeah, so it's powered on. You can see the LEDs. There's an LED here, LED here. I just have to hook up the screen. Let me test the power again. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get the camera. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, I mean, the sanding and painting is not fun, and it it's not easy to do. That's the hardest part. Um, that would be the hardest part of the kit because, I mean, in theory, I would get this thing so it wouldn't need to be sanded and painted, where I could just, sell someone all the parts, including the case, and they could just put it together, put the stickers on, wire it up, and they'd be good. But to make the case look really nice, like it looks fine on webcam, but it's pretty rough. This isn't like good enough to be a final product as is. A lot of the stuff, like, I've you can't really tell on camera. It's hard to see, but in reality, this is pretty rough. I mean, it functions as it should, but to make it look good, you really got to do a lot of sanding and paint. Alright, so the micro USB. So how was I going to do? So my issue yesterday was the micro USB. And none of the right angle USB plugs I have are the right angle. So when you order these, the plastic side of the plug, you need to reference that in relation to the orientation of the port on the board. And these are going the wrong way, so they go down instead of up. Where I need them to come up and out and not down. It's so tight on the inside of this case. So all the I/O is right here, where my hand is. So you have this kind of tiny little space. So most plugs, most of these types of things, they plug in like this, right? And you have the plug, this part, the metal part, and then this little like strain relief, and then the wire, and like, you really don't have a lot of room to work with. So I ended up ordering these guys, the right angles, but they are the wrong right angle. Or they're not a right angle, they're like a down angle. I don't know what you would call it. Now I might be able to get one in there. Might not. I have already... Let's see if I can get it in there. Yeah, it's like I put the back door on. It would have been easier now that without the back door on. I might... let's see. Let me double check. I might have another one that will work better than these. Hold on, I'll be right back. No. No. I don't have any. I have to order more. I'll have to order more. Or make one. I don't really want to do. Making your own USB cables is not a good time. I know you guys can't hear me. I'm talking to myself. Yeah, guys, sorry. I need to order more of these cables, I guess. This is the light bar I use for the marquee. It's actually for a radio control car. Kind of hard to see, but it actually is powered by it's powered by the motherboard. I think I had to make a different plug for it, if I remember. Whoa. Brackets. Excuse me. I think I power it with this RGB header, I guess. 5 volts. Where is ground? I gotta look at the manual. I might have to, like, I think I have to remake the plug. That's what I had to do before. Or I can just pop them out and put them in a different DuPont header housing, whatever you want to call it. Let's see. Yeah, so that is... What is this? This is computer fan, AIO pump. Because one of these, the RGB header is 5 volts, and this light wants to run at 5 volts. Whoa. What is 12? Gen 2 header. Whatever that is. Or a Gen 2 header. Right? 12. Addressable Gen 2 header. 114. Yeah. So ground, yeah, I have to remake this. With... What do we put on there? We'll put the 4-pin guy. Right here. So, where is that new tool I got? I got a thing for removing... Where did I put that? I bought this thing for removing pins from these kind of DuPont connectors, but I do use... You can use like a sharp object, an X-Acto blade. I have used before, so carefully. Let's get this on camera if I can. Can't really see without me zooming in. Let's zoom in. So you carefully pop up this little plastic guy without breaking it. Doesn't matter if I break it, actually. I don't really care. I have more of these. And you slide this out like that. There you go. And then I will do the same carefully without stabbing myself with an X-Acto knife. Slide it out. Yeah, I broke it. It doesn't matter. I have a bunch of those. So then... Oh, I could use... No, RGB header is 12 volts, so I need 5 volts for this. So red should be on the left here. Red, and then ground goes on the right. Yes. Okay, so that is hooked up. So now I plug that into that header on the motherboard. The cool thing with this is powering everything off the motherboard is great, because then when you turn the computer on, everything comes on with the computer. So you don't need a separate like power switch for other stuff. It's best to try to power... I try to do the same with my Raspberry Pi builds, although Raspberry Pi power is a little more of a premium. I'm not really keen on how well that grips on there. These headers could have better, longer pins. I think I ran into this problem on the other build. I was like, those could grip better. Yeah, Not great. Well, let's test it. Prepare for blinding. Oh boy. Yeah, there it is. So there's the motherboard powering the light for the marquee. So this guy will go. That looks cool. Looks really cool on camera. This guy will go up here and here. And I have some mount points for it. Oh boy. Yeah, so I'm not super keen on this plug. Because it's like, not gripping as well as I'd like. I might be able to close up the pins so they grab this header better. Or I might switch over to... I might use the other USB header because I feel like it grabbed better down there on the other USB header. The board below the PC audio amp? You mean this down here? That's the power supply. So, 12 volts comes in through the back from the brick, the power brick. I guess there's two power supplies. So this is more like a power distribution than it is a power supply. Because a power supply is like a self-contained unit where you plug in AC power from your wall, and then it handles the power conversion from 120 or 220 down to 12 volts. Where here I have a power brick that converts the AC to DC, and then the DC comes in the back, and then this guy distributes the DC to the PC. AC PC. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this connection. It works and it doesn't work. It's kind of loose. So like, that's definitely something that would come disconnected in shipping, so I'm not really sure. I could use some hot glue. Not a fan of hot glue. It's not important right now. As long as it works, that's all that matters. So I still need to figure out how to do this USB stuff. I might have to pull the back off again to plug in this guy. I don't really know how else to get my hand in here to plug it in. I could try. Let's try it, I guess. And it's not really the right cable, at least for the sake of being easy to do. So I'm gonna unplug the joystick USB. I should probably turn the PC off. I'm gonna turn PC off. PC is turned off. So I don't screw anything up when I'm doing this. So that's the joystick USB. And now this is gonna be the power USB for the audio. Yeah, I guess I could use the other USB header. I think that's what I did, but then I have to make a custom. I'm not a huge fan of like micro USB power. I kind of wish that like these manufacturers would just stop. Like, I get it, they've designed this stuff a while back when micro USB was more common, but I can't stand micro USB as a connector. It just, you can't solder it really. It's hard to solder. It's tiny. It's fiddly. It's delicate. It's just not a great plug. It's never been a good plug. I think phone companies used it just so you'd have to buy a new phone every 2 years because it would break in less than 2 years. This is me trying to push a USB in. Okay, there we go. I can do it. I can do it. It's gonna work. I'm gonna get it right now. This is really hard to do. Here we go. Here, let's destroy those with some pliers. No, I'm almost there. Almost there. Come on, you can do it. Ah, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. Come on, don't break the port. Okay. There we go. Ah, success. Whew. Now I don't have a ton of slack here, but it's plugged in. So, where's the other? This guy goes here. Where did this go? Oh, great, now I can't plug in the other one. Whoops. I have to go into this bottom. No, I can't. Yeah. Oh boy, this just got way harder. Okay. Okay. Freaking A. This is hard to do. Man, these stupid, chonky. You know, the problem is these manufacturers, they make everything so unnecessarily chonky. USB cables do not need to be this chonky. They don't. They really don't. And I get it, like people want things to feel chonky because then they feel like they're getting ripped off or something, but it's kind of the other way around for me. I feel like the chonkier the cable, the cheaper the cable is, in my experience. Oh crap, come on. Come on. This is so hard to do. Okay, there we go. Aha. There we go. I feel like Linus Tech Tips right now. I'd be like I have to drop it on the ground to be like Linus. Alright, now where's this other cable? Here we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, now the audio is kind of in the way. You know, it'd be probably better to just make a removable side panel over here. I don't know how to do that elegantly, but that would be the best thing. Because then you could just access the I.O. The I.O. is basically right behind this. So if I could make this part removable somehow, you heard it here first. That's the first time I had that idea. I had the idea of putting a door, like a I.O. panel, but then you have this ugly I.O. panel. So what if I made it removable with magnets, like I like to use? I think that would look cool. If I did it right, where there wasn't like a big ugly seam. I can't even plug this other one in. Come on. Wireless. We need everything to be wireless, please. Okay. That's plugged in. Okay, so we got our HDMI, power. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, if anybody is still watching, you get to see me actually power this on without it being a pain in the butt too much, right? So I've designed this, I don't know if you can see it, but up here is this wire holder that I designed. And this is to deal with strain relief. So what I do is I go like this. Yeah, that's it. I go like that. Where's the micro USB? So I plug in the micro USB. This is for the screen, power, which I'm not a fan, as I said, of the micro USB. And then I have the HDMI. It comes down under here. Let's go maybe over here with it, like that. And then I put this guy. This is the thing that holds the wires sort of in place with the strain relief. Sorry, I'm blocking the camera, guys. I really can't do this without blocking the camera. And then I tried to give myself enough slack here. Not ideal. What is this? The HDMI cable is a little short. It's better to be, in that circumstance, a little short with the HDMI. Okay, where is this other bolt that I had over here? My laptop has consumed some bolts. Yorkie talk. Yorkie. You like Yorkies? Shoot, where's that other bolt? There it is. So this is my strain relief thing that I'm bolting on the back of the screen assembly. And this keeps the wires, because like when you're rotating, you're putting some strain on these wires. So the idea with that strain relief is so you're not breaking the PCB that the wires are connected to, or breaking their connectors. Okay. Oh, I used the wrong thing. I need a regular micro USB. Like a shorty. I'm gonna go upstairs. I have like a bunch of those upstairs unnecessarily. I'll be right back, guys. One moment. How's your gas? Alright, printer. I gotta stop my printer. Alright, sorry guys. I'm back. Wait, the screen is attached by magnets? That's cool and clever. Thank you. Just wanted to say I love your work. It's always impressive. Thanks, man. Or woman. So I just needed a micro USB for the screen power. I thought I had done this wrong, and then I realized I just used the wrong cable here. So I'm going to remove my strain relief bracket from my screen assembly. Unplug this wrong micro USB. And then plug in the right one, wherever I just put it. Where did I just put it? I'm always throwing things. Sort of unnecessarily. Okay, here we go. There we go. So now the strain relief guy. Probably want to go this way with it. Oh, the magnets. Those magnets are super strong. So we go like this, and like this, and then put our strain relief in place. Strain relief is in place. Bolt it in. Yeah, I'm using I do everything in Fusion. Bolts, everything. I've modeled every single part. I don't model the wires, that's a lot of work. But I do all the PCBs. I've modeled every PCB, every button, the magnets, every bolt, all the threaded inserts, the computer, the screen. every part basically gets modeled in Fusion. That's how I design it. Alright, let's see if it works. Hopefully. We're only gonna get... okay. Screen's powered on. That's a good sign. Let's make sure that we're not getting... Okay. There we have it. There we have it, folks. You heard it here first. Alright, let's see if it works. I've already tested this build before, and it does indeed work. I'm just going to make sure that the screen comes on. You going to come on? You going to come on? Did I plug in the HDMI? I've noticed sometimes this motherboard, I don't know if it's the motherboard or the screen, it doesn't like the video signal. Maybe because it's 1024 by 768. HDMI is plugged in. There it is. There we go. It doesn't look great on here because of this light. Let's go. I'm going to adjust the ISO on this guy so you guys can see better. How do I don't know. Let me, the joystick doesn't control the mouse. So we're going to need a mouse for that. I can have that set to work that way, but that causes problems when you're in your front end, so it's better to have it load up automatically into the front end, which I have going on the other machine I built. Oh yeah, the MGSP. I'll make MGSPs a handheld again. Here, I'll load the front end. Without getting audio. Yeah, audio's working. For some reason, this isn't full screen. I'm not sure why it's doing that. The camera's also not getting a good angle on the screen, so your view angle's kind of shite. Let's see if I can get it better. Let's see if we can get that a little better. Trust me, the screen looks better in person. It's really hard to capture LCDs. Also, the camera is kind of running dark for some reason. I might put it on a different setting. If that works. Yeah, that's a little better. Alright, I'm gonna hook up this keyboard so I can get the front end scaled correctly. I don't know if the controller is gonna work right away. I should hook up the other speaker so we're getting better sound here. This is why you put USB ports on the back of your arcade machine. 2 USB, one for the mouse, one for the keyboard. Now, you know, the final setup on the software won't require a keyboard and mouse to load anything, but how do I full screen? No, don't load a game. It's loading a game, I think. Okay, whatever. What did I load? A Naomi game? Yeah, I guess so. Monitor is 4.3. I don't know what game I loaded. I don't think these are gonna work. Yeah, I gotta bind the controls in Retroarch. I should do that. But we can at least get a game going. I don't know what game this is. Are we getting audio? I don't feel like we're getting audio, are we? Melty blood. Select is usually coin. Holy loud. I guess we're getting audio. Well, I'm gonna play with a keyboard until I bind the controller. Yeah, so the screen's 4:3 and it's running at 1024 by 768, which is the native resolution. I think it's a great, at this scale, it's a great resolution. The speakers sound better when the whole top of the unit is put together. Like this cover actually helps with the sound. And the speaker boxes and stuff like that. I don't know how well this is doing. I don't really know how to play this game. It's pretty easy though. We're not getting a great frame rate on the stream. I apologize for that. It's just this camera. I'm using a capture card with my still camera. Yeah, the screen looks pretty good. I don't know. I can zoom it in. It's not gonna look great on, I don't know if it's even focusing. Probably not focusing. Hold on. Let me focus it. Is it focusing? It's a lot more crisp than what you're seeing right now, but I can't focus my camera. I think some of the, yeah, this game has some tearing in it, and I don't know if it's the resolution. I might have to set, there's some vertical tearing happening, and it's something to do with the sprites, and I think it has to do with the resolution that I'm running Naomi at. Hold on, let me get this full screen. I don't know what it's doing. Oh, come on, F off. No, I don't want to do that. Alt-tab. I don't know why it's not full screening. What the heck is happening? Hold up. That little speaker, is that... Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, once I have both the speakers in there and, like, the speaker baffles and everything, it actually gets way too loud, to be honest. It kind of sounds too loud. The audio amp is more than enough, but these are actually really nice speakers. You can't really see because I zoomed in. But they're not cheap by any means. I spare no expense. Trying to figure out how to get that attract mode back on the screen. Hold on. I don't know what hotkey I need to hit. There must be tab. Here we go. General. I'm not sure why. Ooh, I can't see it. Sure. Did that fix it? Yes. Okay, so that's fixed. I have to get the controls working. Okay. Let's bind the controls. I should hook up the other speakers so you guys get a better sound experience here. Let me grab the other speaker. Where is it? It's in my speaker bin. Where's my speaker bin? Where are you, speaker bin? Down here. I'm gonna hook up the other speaker here. Yeah, so there's a whole assembly that goes up in the top for the marquee assembly, but I don't have, like, here's a sample part. I don't really want to put it all in because I don't want it to get scratched, the acrylic. But I can at least hook up this speaker. do it back here. Yeah, I should have made these wires maybe a tad bit longer, because they're kind of not very long. Let's hook up the other speaker. Come on! Wow, these... That's tight. That's a tight fit. There we go. Alright, that one's not as... Oh, wait, what? These speaker terminals, they're tiny. They could be longer. I should probably solder. I should just solder these. There's really no... It's not necessary to have these have disconnects. Not really. I can't really... there we go. Yeah, it's not great. They're just... That's not where they go. But you get the idea. Hi, Bren. Munoz. I don't know how to say that name. From Tijuana. That's cool. Tijuana. Must be pretty nice down there right now. Kind of cold here. So controls. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, so the joystick seems to be working. More or less. Oh, maybe I already have it down. Yeah, it's already working. That's good. These are missing some of the artwork. The front end is forever a work in progress, because there's a lot of work to get every single video and game title. I actually had to make some of these in Photoshop. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys like a vertical game, and hopefully it's going to work. Actually, I should double check Retroarch, because I do not think I configured it on here. So let's configure Retroarch. And I wish the frame rate was better on this camera right now, because they're not getting, like, you can see when I move my hand, it's sort of blurry. Where like the webcam, the smaller picture, look how much smoother that is. It is what it is. Okay, Retroarch, why are you not starting? What is your deal? Oh, there we go. Alright. Oh, it's working. So, why wasn't it working in Naomi? Let me double check some things, because I added a... Oh, that is not working. Nope. Hold on. So, I have to make... I might have to rebind. Raspberry Pi Pico, that's the board I'm using for USB input. Let me zoom in so you guys can see what the heck's going on. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Focus! You know you want to. How do I manually focus? I can't with this. Lens doesn't have a focus ring. Hold on, let me try to get this focused. Static. Let's get this focused. Come on, focus. There it is. So there's the Raspberry Pi Pico that I use for input. It's getting kind of blocked by my face. So I'm gonna rebind these. Down, and left, and right. Okay, so AB. So let's make this A, this B, this X, this Y. Select, start, L, R. Okay. And that is our controller. Save controller profile. Let me Ah, nice. So hotkeys. Menu toggle controller combo. Hold start for 2 seconds. I guess that works. Maybe start select as exit. Quit Retroarch. So let's try that. And then start is our hotkey. Okay. Now, it's always good when you make any changes in Retroarch to save your configuration. It might autosave, I'm not sure. And then there we go. Now it should be set. Now it goes back to the front end. Let's do. I'm not sure if these are gonna work as they should, but we'll load up a vertical game if it wants me. Hey, why is that not selecting? Hold on. One of the buttons isn't. There we go. Let's go back to cave. Let me turn this down a little bit. Let's see if it works. Alright, so there it is. So this is when the magic happens. Pops out. Feel the heat. PC, you are warm. And there's vertical mode. Kind of awkward to work at. I'm sort of to the side of the arcade machine, and I'm not good at this game. I'm gonna warn you. I swear I've made it to the boss without getting killed. I don't have the octo gate. This has got a square gate on it. I prefer the octo gate. It's kind of loud. Yeah, the frame rate's not great on this camera. I apologize for that. I'm not good at shooters. Shmups, whatever you want to call them. Shoot 'em ups. I am a fighting game guy. Yeah, this isn't even the hardest bullet hell game. There are harder ones for sure, and that's just the first level. It gets way harder. So to exit, you hit start select. So obviously when it's back in the front end, you have to rotate the screen again. I mean, there's maybe a way I can do it in software, but I don't know how to. It's not terribly hard to rotate it. I mean, it is what it is. You guys have a game you want me to try? can choose a game if you want. Yeah, so I guess I'll do another stream of me putting in the light and everything. I mean, I did wire it up. So this is the light I use. And it will go up here with some brackets. And then the marquee windows go up here too. Fist of the North. Do I have Fist of the North Star on here? What system is that on? Adamus Wave? Is that where it is? Yeah? Yeah. I need the rubber. You know what I need on the... Part of my issue right now is that I don't have the rubber, the bottom on the joystick. So I am having a hard time. This thing is sliding around, so I need to put the rubber on the bottom here. I had to rewire something, that's why I took it off. Ooh. Fist of the North Star, eh? It sounds pretty good. Ooh, that's loud. Don't worry, I'll let you see the intro again after I'm done putting these rubber feet on. It's not great to do this while it's on. It's really hard to do this. I'm gonna tip the whole machine over. I feel like a wire is getting caught up somewhere underneath here. Yeah. Yes, there's like a wire in here. I gotta, hold on guys, I gotta pull this off and make sure there's nothing. That's loud. I gotta turn that down. It does sound alright, it's not bad. It's a little, like, the highs are a little sharp. Otherwise the speakers are really clear. I'm gonna turn that down because that's like, that's driving me nuts how loud it is. Yeah. I gotta double check these wires because I don't want to. Yeah, I'm crimping wires in here. It's not a great idea. This is, I need some hold downs inside here to handle the wiring. Okay. I'm not great at this game, but it's a fun game nonetheless. Presented by Sega. I think this game is quite a bit newer than the Astro City, right? Did they run this game on Astro Cities in Japan? I mean, this is Adamus Wave, so it's basically Dreamcast. I feel like this is something. I mean, it is a. Is it 4-3? It's a 4-3 game. Alright, almost done here with the feet. Sorry, guys. You really need these feet. When you're jamming on the joystick, these feet are going to hold it in place nicely. I don't know what they're saying. My Japanese is not up to snuff. Hopefully this game runs without the graphics issues I was getting in that other game. It looks like it's alright. The sprites were scaling weird. I don't really know much about Fist of the North Star. Yeah, it's a little sharp on the highs. The sprites look okay. What are the... Okay, punches on the bottom. I guess that doesn't make... Yeah, the buttons aren't quite right, but they can be rebound. I played this game like 4 times, so I don't really know how to play it. Thanks, Felix. Oh. I guess that doesn't do anything. Just jam button mashing. Organized button mashing, that's what I call it when I don't know how to play a 2D fighter, because I know the general rules. And quarter circle. Quarter circle, quarter circle, quarter circles. Sometimes works. That's why I always play Ryu characters. So I can just do quarter circles. Oh, that was good. Yeah, this angle is really awkward. I'm at like 45 degrees to the joystick and the screen, which isn't great. But the camera, I've been blocking the camera. You guys got another game you want me to try? I'm not sure if everything is set up on here. There's PSP. I don't know why you'd want to play PSP on here, but it is an option. Saturn. Yeah. I think Saturn's all set up. It should be working. Yeah, I apologize for the frame rate. I don't know. It might be because I'm streaming at 30 FPS and the camera is playing 60, so there's like a frame rate mismatch. I can't really... My internet's not fast enough to stream at 60 FPS. Yeah, I love Retroarch because then everything just works controller-wise. You don't have to go through and manually configure every individual game or emulator. Oh, start. Speakers. I don't need a keyboard in my lap anymore, at least, so I can try to move to a place. Whoops, sorry. That's better. Yeah, I'm not good at this game yet. This game is way slower than Fist of the North Star. I get it, it's Sega Saturn. There's some weird scaling. Is this game always scaled like that? I'm seeing like black bars at the top and bottom. I don't know if that's just how this game ran. And then like on a CRT it would have stretched automatically. Some games have weird aspect ratios. Some retro games. Oh boy, I'm getting my ass handed to me. Oh, I'm no good at this. Optic gloves! How do I do that? Oh, I'm getting my ass handed. I'm over it. Alright guys, I'm gonna take a break now. So you get to see, yep, just regular old Windows. Retroarch, Attract Mode, Windows 10. I've got Tekken 7 on here. I've got some games, some newer games. In PC. I guess I only have Tekken 7 so far. I haven't really put anything else on here. The drive is 2 terabytes? Yeah, 2 terabytes. So, I don't know, you can see that very well. Virtual Fighter 2. Yeah, I can play that. I was gonna, I've been streaming for quite a while now, for 3.5 hours, so I was gonna take a break. But yeah, this will run Virtual Fighter 2. This will run anything, really. Pretty much anything. You could even run maybe PS3 on here. I haven't tested it, but I'm pretty sure it could. It'll run PS2. It'll run Dreamcast. It'll run any modern PC games pretty well. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in this evening. I'll show you a little profile shot, sort of. There it is. I still got to do the marquee portion and the light bar. This guy. And then I got to paint the thing and put all the graphics on, and in the final marquee parts, here's a temporary marquee. This is a sample that I had made. But it works pretty well. I was showing people on stream yesterday sort of what it looks when it's lit up. Camera's not dealing with that like it should, but it looks good. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll probably stream again tomorrow, or try to stream tomorrow. And then I'm gonna try to this will be uploaded either way on my YouTube. So, wrong mouse. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you guys again. Thanks. Bye.